So I want to tell you a little bit about the classroom earth trip to the Colorado River this summer. The Colorado River is one of the signature landscapes in North America. It's a beautiful place. It runs through our history, through our literature, through our mythology, but it's also an incredibly important place. It's important to our country because the West is dry, and without river water, nothing grows. Now, this little golf course outside of Las Vegas, in and of itself, is not all that important, but it gives you a sense for just how important that water is. And you could replace these fairways with Las Vegas, with Los Angeles, with Tucson, with Phoenix. Half of the cities that we have in the American West could not exist without water from the Colorado River. And here's the reality. This is Lake Mead and Hoover Dam outside of Las Vegas, and you can see that the lake is nowhere near full. It currently sits at 39% of capacity. There are just too many needs on too little water, water that the entire American West depends on. It's a big problem for our country, but it's also a really compelling topic for us to study. And that's our goal, is to get to know the Colorado River as well as we can, to understand the different uses and to understand the different conflicts that surround it, and to have as much fun as we possibly can while doing so. And so we'll be flying into Denver and loading into vans and then driving over the Rockies into the upper basin. And we'll explore the Colorado from its headwaters up in the Rockies all the way down to the dividing point between the upper basin and lower basin at Glen Canyon Dam. First, we'll drive up into Rocky Mountain National Park, the first of 5 national parks we'll visit on this trip. And at that time of year, it should pretty much look like this up high. There should be plenty of snow on the ground for us to play in. I predict I blast Senor Sadler with a snowball. Or 2, or 3, or a dozen. We'll do some great hikes in the park, up at the very beginnings of the river's long run to the sea. Where the river flows out of the mountains, we plan to do some fly fishing, and we'll also learn about the first of the many conflicts, about some of the projects that plan to take river water from the west side of the Continental Divide and pump it through to the east side so it can water lawns in Denver. We'll get as broad a perspective on these issues as we can. We'll talk to business groups, we'll talk to conservationists, we'll talk to wildlife biologists. The same is true further downstream in the area around Grand Junction, Colorado, where we'll talk to farmers who depend on the river's water for their crops. And then we'll head into Utah to the incomparable canyonlands of the Colorado Plateau. First up, 2 more national parks, Arches and Canyonlands National Parks outside of Moab. Now for most of the trip we'll be staying in hotels at night and getting to know cool little towns like Moab. But the heart of our journey is a 6-day canoe camping expedition down the Green River, the major tributary of the Colorado, through Labyrinth Canyon. This is, simply put, one of the top outdoor trips on Earth. A journey through a remote and beautiful wilderness that few people ever get to see. We'll enjoy swimming, hiking up exciting side canyons, and engaging in epic water cannon battles. And at night, we'll sleep under clear desert skies filled with stars like dust. And then we'll head downstream to Glen Canyon Dam. We'll take a tour of the dam and the power plant, and we'll also spend some time on Lake Powell behind it. Lake Powell is both one of the most loved landscapes in the country and one of the most hated, and we'll find out what's the deal with all the controversy. Lake Powell floods a whole maze of canyons and side canyons, and we'll get out and explore a part of it. And all the while, we'll have the stark reminder of the bathtub ring, the line where the lake's water used to be, a reminder of the water issues we face. Turning our vans back towards Denver, we'll make a stop at Mesa Verde National Park. We'll learn about the last culture that ran out of water in the American Southwest. And then our last stop will be National Park number 5 on this trip. Great Sand Dunes National Park in Colorado, the world's biggest and funnest sandbox. Well, that's an overview of Classroom Earth for the summer of 2015. If you want to talk to us more about it, see Mr. Meyer or Mr. Sadler or Ms. McCormick. We'll be taking applications through the end of exams. See the links below for a more detailed description and itinerary for the trip, as well as the application.